Hey Pisces, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and today we're going to be doing your weekly reading. Let's see what is coming up for Pisces for this week ahead. So this would be the second week of September. Let's see if there are any predictions coming in, any particular guidance, messages, heads up, or anything like that. Remember, take what resonates with you, leave the rest behind, and if you would like a personalized reading, there is a coupon code for this month of September. September Magic. You'll find it in a banner on the website on top. And you can use that 25% discount on your personalized reading or any of the products that are on the store right now. So check it out, enjoy it, and let's get started with your reading. All right, universe, what are the ideal messages for Pisces for this week ahead? What predictions can Pisces receive here to better navigate their reality? What pieces of advice does Pisces need? Please bring in all things good through this reading to prepare Pisces in the best way possible for this upcoming week. All right. This is for Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Taking cards upright. King of Cups. This is the Unicorn and Crystals Tarot, by the way, in case any of you want to look it up. It's very cute. Very cute. And this, for those of you who are wondering, it's my new brilliant Apple Pencil holder. It's so cute. I can't get over it. It's so cute. Anyway. Alright, Pisces. So let's see what we have here. So we see you in a very good emotional space this week. We see you being stable. We see you allowing yourself to feel your emotions, to process your emotions, but not letting the emotions overpower you. So I see you balanced. I see you in a good place. Lots of emotional maturity. I feel like this week you're going to be dealing with some things that are going to make you realize how emotionally mature you have become. At some point, maybe you did not have the maturity that you have now, and it's apparent that, you know, you're going to be dealing with certain things a whole lot better than you would used to in the past. It's going to be very impressive for you and for other people around you who know you from a long time ago. They're going to see how mature you have become. With the King of Cups here, being the main energy, basically it can be an emotional week. However, it's going to be an emotional week that it's totally manageable, so that's good. Then in the challenge position, we have the Page of Cups. So in the rank in the tarot, the King is the highest of the court cards. Basically, we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King, right? The Page is the most immature of the energies, the most young of the energies, so to speak. So if the weak main energy is showing up as the King and the challenge is showing up as the Page, this means that in a way, some of you are going to be challenged to go from the Page, the most immature emotional energy, into the highest form of maturity. So maybe you're going to be presented with a situation, again, that maybe in the past you would have dealt with in a different way. And now it's like you are called to show up better for whatever reason. Okay, this can look different for every single one of you. But in a way, you are going to be expected to be more emotionally mature. Okay, basically. And some of you are going to have a very easy time with that. But some of you are going to be feeling like it's a bit of a stretch. Okay, some of you are going to be like, well, I can be very mature with certain things, but this is kind of, you know, I don't know if I want to be mature with this. Some of you are going to be, you know, kind of having a little bit of a hard time with that. But in general, I feel like it has something to do with a lot of unknowns, all right? So there could be a decision that is recently being contemplated. You may be thinking about the path moving forward, what you should do, how you should do it. The Two of Swords talks about a specific decision of should I choose option A or option B. Normally, the Two of Swords talks about a point in which we find ourselves a little bit stuck, trying to make a decision, not being able to, feeling like we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the message from this card is basically that you're going to realize that there's certain answers that you can't think your way through. You can't overthink your way through either. It's going to be something that inevitably needs to be released so that the emotions inform you and let you know what is it that you really want. Because the pros and the cons are gonna make your vision blurry basically at some point. It's at the end of the day gonna be a decision that needs to be informed by your heart. What is that decision gonna be about? Let's find out. Something that you have been trying to get for a really long time. Okay, so some of you have been trying to find your balance, prioritize your balance, your good habits, your routines, your overall well-being, being in your center. You've been trying to prioritize that for a long time. And maybe you think that if you do this thing, that's going to be easier. If you use this device, if you use this item, this product, this supplement, this vitamin, that's going to happen. I feel like at the end of the day, Pisces, it's like I'm getting kind of like mixed messages here because some of you are going to be dealing with a Sagittarius specifically, and you may be trying to make a choice about a Sagittarius. Now, others of you are trying to make a choice and constantly choose what is right for you. And I feel like now you understand what that looks like, but maybe it took a while for you to actually understand what choices actually made you happy, like what really helped you and what you thought would help you. I hope that makes sense. Take it if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, that's perfectly fine. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles in the energy for the week. This is the present. So this is the past, present, future. So the Ten of Pentacles is wonderful, wonderful abundance. This is generational wealth. Some of you may be benefiting this week from generational wealth, from being in a family that has assets, maybe properties, savings, opportunities, right? This is kind of like something that has been built by past generations that can be very beneficial for you, or this may be something that you are aiming to build or you're actually already building for future generations in your life. So basically, this is going to be a week in which you're going to see a lot of prosperity, a lot of stability, a lot of support from people who have been through things that you have been before, like in the past. Like they have been through things that you're going through now. They have been through that in the past. That's what I'm trying to say. So there is support, there is assistance. There may also be expectation for you to, I don't know, like fulfill certain roles that have to do precisely with this kind of like whole structure of generational wealth. The end of the week feels a little bit confusing. The weekend can feel a little heavy, a little more on the emotional side that's a bit gloomy, a little kind of like, not necessarily depressive, but if you do suffer from depression, it could be a little bit more like available or more present. The moon is a card that for me is very like nostalgic and deep and kind of heavy, but at the same time very beautiful. So things may, I don't know, something may happen during this week that has to do with generational wealth, has to do with generations prior or generations, future. That is going to be very like food for thought. I see you wondering like, what's the point of life? Like, what would our future generations need? Like, what if we don't have future generations? Or I don't know. It's like a whole train of thought around like the lineage of the family, the part that you play in it, spiritually as well, but also like very tangibly. I feel like some of you are going to be thinking about property, about like wills, about things like that by the weekend. Now, I see that you show up here as the Knight of Cups, beautiful energy. You are showing up, maybe offering your love, your kindness, your support to someone. Some of you are gonna finally get the courage to express your love to like a crush or someone that you have felt attraction for a while. Maybe you're gonna gather the courage to ask them out or something along those lines, or send like some kind of love letter, message, email, any kind of like invitation that could spark a connection. That could be the case for some of you. For others of you, I see you maybe offering kind of like emotional support. I feel like maybe there's something in the family happening this week that is emotional in nature. It's like you are level-headed, you have that emotional maturity, and you could be offering that kind of support to those who maybe are struggling with it, or just, anyone who needs your kindness. You may be putting it out there like, hey, I'm here for you, whatever you need. If you want to talk, if you want to cry, anything, it's like, I'm here. You could be offering that to someone this week. So in your environment, we have the Hanged Unicorn, which is normally the Hangman. So around you, things may feel uncertain, okay? You may be waiting for something to come to light, waiting for a medical result, waiting for an approval, waiting for a confirmation, waiting for some money to show up, to come out of like the bank or something. I don't know. It's like this week, there's going to be a lot of this energy of like what's going to happen, okay? Uncertainty, and that energy of being like in limbo, feeling like you're upside down and you can't really do anything about it, and you're just kind of there, uncomfortable, waiting for someone to come in and like help you or something along those lines. And by someone coming in and helping you, I mean maybe a certain information showing up and finally alleviating the anxiety that you're feeling, kind of like in anticipation of receiving that, whatever it is, that information. So we have the Queen of Cups here. So in this reading, we have only 11 cards, and the whole court for water is showing up here. So Cancer energy, Pisces energy, Scorpio energy could be very present, very important, very relevant in whatever way. In your hopes and fears, we see the Queen of Cups. So it's like, I feel like in a way you want to put your assistance, emotional assistance and support out there. You want to be there for other people. You want to be your intuitive self, your connected self, your spiritual self, and maybe help someone in that way. But at the same time, you may be afraid of not being taken seriously, maybe validated, appreciated, right? And there could be a little bit of a desire to be either a rescuer or a victim here. Take it if it resonates. It may not make that much sense right now, but it may make more sense during the week. So come back to the video whenever you can to see what is actually, coming together, what isn't. Now, in the outcome, we have here the Seven of Cups and the Devil. So the Seven of Cups is being basically spoiled by having too many choices, okay? And that is, in essence, a blessing. You have a lot of options. You have a lot of possibilities. You could do this, that, the other. Maybe you have a lot of talents. Maybe you have a lot of opportunities, invitations, you name it, in all areas of life. But there comes a point when you're trying to make a choice of where to move forward, like specifically, that having too many options can actually be detrimental and can take you into like analysis paralysis, right? So if you find yourself being overwhelmed by decision making, if you find yourself being like, oh my God, I don't know what's right, like there's so many options, there's so many possibilities, try your best to, instead of trying to force your choice, step back, okay? It's not going to come through overthinking. We already said that. No matter how hard you think, no matter how hard you go with pros and cons, there comes a point in which the truth, your desire, your deep desire needs to come to the surface from your heart. It's kind of like that thing they say, like, flip a coin with the two options, because when the coin is in the air, you're going to realize what you actually want. Because you're going to be like, oh, I don't want, look at Chai, he's here to visit you all. He's doing a whole lot better. Say hi, Chai Chai. So yeah, it's like when the coin is in the air flipping, you suddenly realize what you're hoping for, right? So that could be a strategy that sometimes works too. And it can help you kind of like understand yourself a little better and what you want. The thing about this is that some of you are going to be maybe pressured by time or something along those lines to make a decision quickly. Or you're going to be putting that kind of pressure on yourself for whatever reason. If this is like a business decision, if this is like a identity kind of thing, I don't know. Some of you may be putting that like urgency on yourselves. And by not being able to find the right answer immediately, you may want to sabotage yourself. You may want to indulge in all the temptations and things that you're actually trying to overcome. Okay, so you can self-sabotage because of the frustration of not having some kind of answer. Whether it's because you're not being provided with the answer or because someone, you are not knowing what to choose. Chai. Yeah? All right. So yeah, there could be a Capricorn involved as well. There could be a Capricorn presenting you with many options, and there could be like an overall sense of not knowing which option is true, because we can be presented with a ton of opportunities, right? But it's like at some point we need to filter, like, okay, let's say that we get 7 proposals through email for sponsorships, for example. It's like you have to research each thing and see which one is actually legit, which one is probably scam. It's like a whole process of figuring out, all of the options and which ones are actually good for you and are actual options and which ones are just kind of like an illusion. This is a card that talks about illusions as well. So at the end of the day, it is important for you to navigate this. I don't think this is the week to make a decision. And it is not the week to pressure yourself into making a decision, okay? It is instead, apparently, more beneficial for you to take a step back and sort of let that truth come to the surface from your heart. Now, we have the smoked quartz here, which is apparently very relevant for someone. If you're working with smoky quartz, if you happen to like smoky quartz, this could be something that helps you this week, especially with your cravings, with your self-sabotage and things like that. Also, subliminals can be very helpful and affirmations as well. Let's get some more cards to see what else can we expect of the week ahead. Let's get some cat cards. You guys know I love those. So this is the cat oracle. Unicorns and cats. What is the ideal message that Pisces needs to hear for this week ahead? Okay, so we're getting this one. Peace. Meet Serena. She will guide you to the sanctuary at the center of your being. Temperance. The place of stillness in the midst of the flowing river of life. She knows the language of forgiveness and acceptance. If you're quiet for a moment and let your heart soften and open, she can teach you these true words so that you may rest your mind in the abode of peace. We cannot control the actions of others, but our perspectives, our feelings, and our choices remain in our power. So choose to be at peace even as you work towards resolution, evolution, or change. So it's basically choosing to be at peace when you don't have that information that you're craving. When you don't have that result that you're hoping for, when you're not necessarily standing and grounded. Chai. ¿Qué pasó? What's wrong? He's been eating special food, right? Because of his issues. and he knows that that's his food and that he's supposed to eat that food and not the other food. And yesterday, the bag finished, and we're going to be getting him some today. And he's like, I'm hungry, and there's a lot of normal food that he used to like and that he used to eat, but he's like, where's my special food? Chay, come lo que hay, mi amor. So yeah. It's basically, the message here is like, try to find peace and harmony in the midst of what may feel chaotic. I don't feel like this week is chaotic, but I do feel like it has the potential to make you feel like you are in uncertain energies or uncertain times. So the best advice here is to do what you need to do to remain in your peace and in your center when perhaps other people are like losing their shit because they're worried about something or they're uncertain about, whatever is going on. Queen of Pentacles. You are going to be providing a sense of stability for someone who is normally this Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so you may be dealing with someone, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Doesn't have to be the case, but this is someone who's normally the stable one, the grounded one, the responsible one. And this person may feel like everything in life is upside down right now. And you may be providing that stability for them, all right? Now, if you're the one that feels like everything is upside down this week, there could be a Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus that is going to be providing that groundedness for you to maybe benefit from and kind of like ground yourself, okay? If you need to ground yourself this particular week, the best thing you can do as well is to connect to the earth, all right? Earth element. That's going to be very relevant for you. So yeah, Pisces, I hope you have a beautiful week. Remember that we have 25% off on the website. At the top, you're going to see the banner. The coupon code is September Magic. So you can add that at checkout in whatever products that you choose to purchase, and you're going to get your 25% off the whole order. So take advantage of that. I hope you enjoy it. And yes, it does apply for the personalized readings. You can get up to 5 if you would like to have them and use them in a period of 6 months. If you would just like to get 1, that's perfectly fine as well. All the information will be in the description box below. Pisces, I love you so much. You got this. You are a very powerful form of it's like you're a Wi-Fi of peace. It's like you emanate peace, okay? So allow yourself to support your loved ones and people who may need that peace, because you are definitely going to bring it to the table, okay? Alrighty, Pisces, enjoy the week ahead. Let me know if this resonates at all, or if you just want to say hi and let me know from what country you're watching. I love that. It's always more than welcome in the comments. I haven't been able to answer the comments for a little while, but now I'm getting back into the routine and answering all of your comments. So if you want to say hi, please do. I love you so much, Pisces, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy week. Bye.